What's up guys, Ruppy here, welcoming you to week 6 of the Breejex Battle Royale. And can I just say real quick, I am so happy that I have everything in working order here again. My PC's all fixed up and running like it's brand new. My internet issues have finally been resolved. Long story short on that, our modem basically finally kicked the bucket. We've had the thing for 15 years, so about time we got a much better one, honestly. So that's all taken care of. My internet is running smooth again. We are doing good here. And we are ready to proceed onwards. The BBR season did not stop, but we made the most of a bad situation last week and still managed to pull off a win. So we are sitting at 3-2 right now with a neutral differential, I guess. We're sitting at a flat 0. This week we are going to be playing the Las Vegas Cinderaces, coached by JBWestside. He has the same record as me. He does have a differential point on me. We would have been absolutely tied had I not made my Marowak mistake last week, but semantics. You see my team chilling in our locker room, getting ready for the game ahead. And now we're going to go ahead and flip on over to the chalkboard to go over his team. And I'll be up front with you guys. I had so many migraines trying to prep for this game, because on paper, to me at least, JB has a perfect counter team to what I've got. I think he was on the bad end of that in his game last week. This week he's definitely on the positive end of it though, and I've got something that I think is going to work, although if I do end up getting my ass handed to me, I would honestly not be surprised, because I'm trying to basically pull a win out of thin air here. Because on paper, I probably should not be winning this game. Anyway, you see his roster off to the right. His team, which has induced this feeling, consists of the following: Kyurem, Zeraora, Primarina, Hitmonlee, Crocodile, Espeon, Talonflame, Garbodor, Gourgeist, and Mawile. Outside of Kyurem, which is, well, including Kyurem, but Kyurem's the only one he would really know off the top of his head, since I had it on my IBL roster last season, and that's the first time he and I have kind of crossed paths. Kind of, sort of. His roster honestly feels like a greatest hits of some of, a lot of my previous draft format teams over the years in some capacity. So that is, interesting to say the least. I know that certainly couldn't have been intentional on his part. Also kind of weird that this is the first time JB and I are crossing paths, because we were both in IBL last season, but we were in opposite conferences, and he wasn't one of my out-of-conference games. We're both in PBAL, which, if you guys have seen my update video, you know what's going on regarding that, upload-wise. Probably for the best. And it's BBR, where we finally get to clash for the first time. Still, though, this team obviously poses a lot of problems to me. I know Kyurem all too well. I know the kind of monster that thing is capable of being on whatever JB wants to do with it. Zeraora pretty much outspeeds everything that has ever existed, and my team is certainly struggling to kind of keep up with it. Primarina hits stupidly hard with its Water Fairy Stab. With Hitmonlee, he can pull my own Hawlucha shenanigans right back on me if he really wants to, and if I'm not careful. Crook Sports Intimidate, Espeon Sports Magic Bounce, Talonflame and Gale Wings pretty much tears apart at least half my roster, which is a huge problem. It certainly stops my, a lot of my, top draft picks cold. All in all, top to bottom, this team feels like it has an answer for just about everything I could bring. So, I tried to think as well outside of the box as I could to see what I could come up with. We'll see soon enough if it worked or not. Let's go ahead and get into this, shall we? Starting off with my prodigy, Raboot. I'm running a Scarf Raboot this week because honestly, I think Raboot is the best mon I probably could Scarf for this game. I've got Libero just to be able to make sure Raboot is always getting Stab. Flare Blitz, High Jump Kick, Dunk Shot, and U-Turn covers everything I think I would really need out of this. Obviously, he has a lot of things that do not want to be eating a high jump kick. Obviously, I need to be a little wary of Gourgeist, but unless he knows I'm Scarfed or is that adamant that I'm going to be throwing a high jump kick his way, I don't think he's going to freely switch in Gourgeist if he brings it. because I could easily just pop the thing with a Flare Blitz, and that's the end of that pumpkin. Gunk Shot is really only here for Primarina and nothing else, but the sooner I can get Primarina out of here, the better I think I'm going to be able to handle a lot of his somewhat tankier things. JB's got a fast team. He's got a powerful team. He is a bit lacking in some of his defenses, however, so that's kind of what I'm hoping to exploit a bit here. Max attack. The 244 speed with a Jolly Nature guarantees that Scarf Raboot is always outrunning at least Scarf Crocodile, because I want to be able to outpace that thing at all times, so I can always threaten the thing with a high jump kick or a U-turn, and get rid of it as soon as possible. Because Crocodile is... Anyone who knows me in general knows that Scarf Crook tends to be the bane of my very existence. Not so much on draft format, but... Next up, we have Empathy the Hatterene, and... Let's be honest, guys, you know this set by now. Anyone who's been a long-time viewer of mine at this point knows this set very well at this point. It's my Trick Room Wise Glasses set. I don't think it really needs that much of, explaining. In addition to Trick Room, I have Psychic, Dazzling Gleam, and Mystical Fire. D-Gleam covers everything that Psychic really does in this game, so it might seem odd that I am bringing Psychic, but the main reason I am bringing it is specifically so I have something to hit Talonflame with, because I felt like if Psychic just gives me a much stronger neutral stab hit in most scenarios, and honestly, if I went with just about anything else, maybe Shadow Ball could have been a substitute, but I really don't need Shadow Ball because anything that Shadow Ball could be hitting, I'm already hitting with something else anyway. Never really be for Gourgeist and Espeon, I guess. But still, Psychic allows me a way to pop Talonflame if I can get Gale Wings broken and I've got Trick Room up. Mystical Fire guarantees that I have something to hit Mawile with, because I can see him bringing Mawile to this game to try to tend to Hat. Moving on down the line, I'm bringing Mother the Marowak back. It's getting to make its proper Wi-Fi debut this week. And I guess I kind of owe it a bit for carelessly throwing it away last week and costing myself a differential point, even though that was not the intent. All I had to do was hit a Bone Meringue. Regardless, I think Marowak actually does quite well in this game. I've got Adamant Max Attack with a Thick Club, doubling my attack stat. Battle Armor, which basically makes Mother immune to crits. Stealth Rock 3 attacks, just like last week. This week I'm running Earthquake, Knockoff, and Rock Slide, because realistically when I look at JB's team, the one thing that stands out to me, which kind of seems like a staple of a lot of my teams in hindsight, which I guess makes sense if his team's unintentionally a Ruppy's greatest hits, it's the fact that he has quite a bit of a rock and ground problem. And my next 3 mons, you're definitely going to see try to exploit that to the best of my ability. Rock Slide takes care of Talonflame and to a somewhat lesser degree Kyurem. Earthquake just hits stupidly hard because it's Earthquake. Knockoffs are getting rid of items and definitely threatening Gourgeist and Espeon. The 60 speed EVs are my attempt to try to kind of get into a speed creep battle with Mawile. To a lesser extent Garbodor, but definitely Mawile. Because if he tries to run a faster Mawile or tries to speed creep Marowak to some degree, I'm thinking I've kind of maybe given enough speed investment to try to creep his creeping enough, as weird as I know that sounds. We'll see how it plays out, because honestly, I don't know if with Mawile, he would just go full-on offensive or some kind of bulkier one, or if... I would figure he would probably bring it for Hat, but he may try to see if he can outrun some of my slower things as well, just be on the safe side. Cadwallader the Drudding is coming back this week as well, and I'm running a bit of a different song and dance this week with this dragon. I am not running my usual bulky rocks, attacks, potential status shenanigans. No, Drudd is finally ready to start unleashing some of its hidden firepower, I feel. I do have leftovers, but instead of Rough Skin, which I considered running it for Talonflame, but I think Druddigon's living enough hits from Talonflame anyway to kind of threaten the thing if need be. So I'm running Sheer Force instead to kind of boost the power output of what I'm going to be doing here. I'm Adamant Max Attack. I've got everything else thrown into bulk just to kind of make Drudding basically the perfect tank this game. I have Substitute, Gunk Shot, Rock Slide, and Earthquake. Gunk Shot is for Primarina. Rock Slide and Earthquake, I already mentioned why I'm running this when I was going over Marowak. I think Drudding can force enough switches in this game to create a scenario where I'm basically constantly getting free subs with this thing, and then firing off a big hit on whatever he wants to try to take Drudding out with. Because if he's not expecting me to be running a far more offensive Drudding, I have a feeling that by the time he finally realizes what this thing is, I will hopefully have him in a hole that he cannot recover from. Fingers crossed on whether or not that's going to be the case, but I think I can actually pull that off with Drudding this week. Continuing down the line, I am calling upon the power of Dragon Zord once more as well. We're back to running Sandstream finally, so hooray for that. Sand shenanigans. Kind of, sort of, not really. I've got a Choppleberry, which, outside of Hitmonlee, because it would be Stab, this allows T-Tar to basically live any one fighting hit from pretty much anything else that could throw a fighting hit my way. Which is incredible, because if T-Tar is able to get a free shot on pretty much anything from that category, it's going down. End of story. I got D-Dance, 3 attacks. The 228 speed is, I believe, meant to guarantee that at +1, I'm outrunning at least Espeon. I already know I'm not outrunning Talonflame or Zeraora. If Scarf T-Tar can't outrun anything that's base 120, then I know where my limitations are, and I will just back off on those. Let's Stone Edge and Earthquake. You know the song and dance right now. I've already had to explain it for 2 other mons. Crunch is there for a second form of stab, as well as to threaten Espeon and Gourgeist. 20 in attack EVs I feel is enough to be able to take advantage of Dragon Dance and go from there. Otherwise, I'm max HP to make sure Dragon Zord is tanking as much as possible and kind of hopefully tearing an opening for me to go from there. I kind of struggled a bit with my last mon. Granted, I struggled with this whole build in general. But the last mon, I was really conflicted on what I wanted to do. But I think I came up with an idea that might actually work if JB's not expecting it. I'm going to be bringing Neopert. But I am not running any of the shenanigans I have done in past weeks. I have a different plan in mind. I am not running Grassy Terrain. I am actually going Overgrow this week. The reason for that? Plain and simple, I do not want to be giving his Hitmonlee a chance to try to turn my usual Lucha shenanigans right back on me, because I could actually see JB pulling that. Considering I think I actually could threaten quite a bit with the terrain priority boosted Grassy Glide, I have a feeling he could actually run Grassy Seed Hitmonlee trying to take advantage of that. So, by not even running terrain at all, I take that away from him. Granted, I do lose a form of priority, but I think I will manage well enough in this game without it. I have leftovers. This is basically a bulky Subseed Rillaboom. Drum Beating gives me stab, as well as a way to guarantee lower speed on whatever I hit with it, to hopefully set some of my other mons up quite nicely. And Knockoff basically is just to get rid of items. Standard fare for Knockoff, just kind of make things much easier on me in the long run. So that's going to do it, as we're going to flip back over to the locker room now. See my team just chilling, relaxing, getting ready, because this is going to be a tough one. I'm calling it now. If there's any one week where I know for sure I am probably going to get my ass handed to me, it is this one. JB is that good, and I am at a bad enough mismatch that I could definitely see it happening. Whether or not it will happen, we will have to see. So, I'm going to step back, recompose myself, and I will be right back when it's battle time. Alright, it is battle time. I am honestly really nervous about this, because JB is really good, and he actually has a team advantage over me, as I've elaborated on in my team builder. We're going to see how well this goes. Alright, also feels good to have my layout back. I'm sure you guys probably missed it. Computer limitations obviously have kind of screwed us over on that in the past, but No more. So let's see. He brings Zeraora, Garbodor, Kyurem. There's the Talonflame. Gourgeist and Hitmonlee. So, little surprised at some of the things he brought here. No Primarina is a little surprising, and no Primarina, no Crook is actually a little surprising. He didn't bring Mawile either, which is interesting. Kyurem Zeraora is no surprise. Talonflame. If he didn't bring Talonflame, I think I'd be surprised. I kind of think I want to lead Mother here. Yeah, I'm going to lead Mother. I know I have the potential to get rocks up, but I have a feeling that Zera's a really good lead for him. He may also just lead Garbodor to try to get Spikes or T-Spikes up. So I feel that leading Marowak could help kind of put me in a good spot right out of the gate. If he leads Kyurem, we will go from there. I think Kyurem and Gourgeist are the only two I'm a little apprehensive on seeing, but otherwise I think Mother's a good lead here. So good luck, have fun, JB, and let's see how well I match up here, because on paper this looks like it's going to be a colossal problem for me. And he is going to lead Gourgeist. Okay. So we are running into this right out of the gate. Got Frisk, so he knows I have my Thick Club. It wouldn't tell me. That looks like that looks like one of the small ones. That's the problem with Wi-Fi. You don't know what Gourgeist this actually is. So that's a bit of a problem for me. I think I'm just going to go ahead and switch into Neopert. I know it seems a little early to tip my hand on the fact that I do not actually have grassy terrain. But honestly, I feel like I'm in a good spot here. He's just going to go Poltergeist, which is going to not hurt that much, actually. I thought it was going to do worse. So this thing has Poltergeist. I'm going to go ahead and try to set up a sub on this thing and go from there. Also kind of cool that we're in the, yep, he outspeeds me, so this is definitely one of the smaller ones then. So the burn kind of sucks, but I can work around it as necessary, or at least try to. I can't exactly Leech Seed the thing, but I think at this point, my plan's going to be just to knock off, get rid of whatever item it has, and kind of just go from there. So we're going to run with that. Rillaboom was not meant to break things in this game. It was meant to kind of just be a defensive nuisance to some degree. Flame Charge Gourgeist! Okay, when did this thing get Flame Charge? So this thing does have Colbur Berry, so that's going to get rid of... So that's going to fix that little issue. I also love the fact that Flame Charge didn't actually break my, my sub at all. So, Flame Charge, Poltergeist, Will-O-Wisp. That's actually a rather interesting moveset here. I'm going to Drum Beating just to try to slow this, try to get rid of that speed boost this thing got, slow it down a tiny bit. And he's just going to keep Flame Charging. At least this keeps the thing at +1, so that makes it a little more manageable, if nothing else. And it will chip away at this thing a little more, which is certainly appreciated. Not much, but it's something at this point. I would not be surprised if he goes for another Flame Charge. So in that regard, I kind of want to go into Raboot a bit. At the same time, if he gets up to +2, he would actually outspeed my Raboot. That is a bit of a problem. this is actually a little problematic. I don't think I'll just go ahead and click knockoff, I guess. Just to kind of try to chip away at this thing a little more, I suppose, if nothing else. And he's gonna go ahead and poltergeist me now, which... I'll just go ahead and eat the hit. That was a crit! Good lord. Neopur's just gonna knock off, wear this thing down even more. I would not be surprised to see him flame charge again, honestly. It would make the most sense. I really don't want to give him, though. I'll just stay in and click knockoff. I'm going to end up losing Rillaboom, and he is going to end up getting a +2. I probably should have just drum beating, actually. To keep this thing at +1, because then Rabbit would have been able to better handle it. But... I think we can make this work. He has not shown... His last move was either Synthesis or Grass Stab, and that's what's got me curious as to which it would be. He's a +2. He does not have a Colbur Berry. And Dragonzord will be able to take a Power Whip. So I'm going to go into Dragonzord, actually. Kind of preserve Raboot a bit. See how this plays. I did not think this little pumpkin thing was actually going to be as big of an issue as it's been. If he has Power Whip and he's not... well, even if he's adamant, he can't OHKO me. So I'm actually kind of free here to go... With his Colbur Berry gone, I'm free to go for the Crunch and kill this thing. If he wants to switch Preserving it, the only thing he'd really be able to switch into that could take the Crunch would be Hitmonlee. But even then, Hitmonlee's physical defense is so non-existent, it's probably going to take a decent chunk anyway. He missed the Will-O-Wisp. Oh my god. I'm sorry about that one, JB. I don't kill this thing. I get a wow! Okay, that was actually kind of a disgusting turn of events. I apologize. I apologize for that one, JB. I'm just gonna go ahead and Crunch again. It kills Gourgeist at this point. To be fair... Yeah, I think even if I had been burned, I probably would have been able to 2-hit KO this thing with, Crunch anyway from that range. So I guess it's... Well, maybe not. That might have got dependent on the defense drop I ended up getting. So... Gourgeist is gone, that's the good news. The bad news is my Dragonzord is burned. I would really not be surprised to see Hitmonlee right about now. It would make the most... Well... If he goes into anything else, I think I'm actually in a decent spot. Just because of the fact that I have the Chople Berry. I don't think he's aware I have the Chople Berry. So, even though I'm burned, if nothing else, T-Tar, if it's not killing something, can still get big damage off if I need it to. I wasn't really expecting T-Tar to do much in the way of sweeping, just kind of like... He does go Hitmonlee. I am not surprised on that front. So I guess the question really now becomes, do I just stay in and sack Dragonzord because it is burned? Or do I just go ahead and... I mean, T-Tar would be nice to have for Talonflame, but I guess it's not entirely necessary. I'll just go ahead and Earthquake to get some damage off and see exactly what this Hitmonlee is, and try to go from there. He goes straight for the close combat. That's going to proc my Chople Berry, which I really don't think matters. Yeah, not at all. Zero surprise there. Is he White Herb? I did not see a White Herb proc. Maybe I did call him trying to go Grassy Seed for Rillaboom. So, Unburden is not active, which is actually really good right about now. So now that creates the question of how I want to play this then. If that is in fact the case. You could Poison Jab. I am actually... I'm gonna go on a Prodigy. I'm gonna let my Scarf Rabbit start putting some work in. Because I am definitely killing this Hitmonlee no matter what it has. So Gunk Shot's actually kind of useless here. I could just U-turn out. But honestly... I'm just gonna go ahead and Flare Blitz and get damage off on something. Yep, he's gonna find out I am Scarfed. I'm gonna get this Flare Blitz off, and that's a dead Hitmonlee. So, thank God for that. That nuisance is out of the way. That issue is out of the way. Granted, since I didn't see any Unburden triggering, either he's Scarfed or he did pull Grassy Seed, expecting me to bring Terrain, and it didn't come. I'll have to watch his side of the video to see how that one played out. Really, anything he could send in at this point, I think, would be able to take a... Well, Zeraora probably wouldn't. It would probably live, but it wouldn't really appreciate the... Oh. Oh. Really? Well, thank you for that, JB. I appreciate that. So, that's the game we're playing, then. Fair enough. I am just gonna send out Mother, then. Because I guess somebody needs to be taught some manners. Oh, that's classy. As he goes Stomping Tantrum. Yeah, he definitely prepped with, he definitely prepped with Terrain in mind, which did not happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my rocks up. Call me crazy on this, but I think I'm actually kind of safe to do so. I'm pretty sure his Talonflame is Boot. I would be surprised if it wasn't. Yeah, we're gonna start trading hazards now. I am not surprised on that front. I'm gonna get my rocks up. He's got a layer of spikes up. I'm just gonna proceed to Earthquake this thing into Oblivion now. If he switches into Talonflame, that's fine. Because... Nope, he's just gonna Gunk Shot me. Which Mother is gonna be able to take. Pretty well, actually. He doesn't get the poison. I'm gonna be able to get this Earthquake off. And that is the end of Garbodor. No Aftermath triggering. That's interesting. He would have to be Weak Armor then, I'm assuming. Oh, hello, Kyurem. Hello, hello, hello. So nice to see you, as much as I really don't want to see you. Now the question becomes, how do I really deal with you? I'll stand in Rock Slide in case he tries to pull, like, Dragon Dance on me, expecting me to switch. Nope, he's just gonna straight Ice Beam. I would honestly not be surprised if this thing was Specs. So with Ice Beam being the name of the game now... I think I might actually be able... Let me double check one thing really quick. I might have to not be Specs. I saw no Life Orb. Expert Belts. Yeah, I'm gonna go into Empathy. Because it's about time we turn the speed tables on him. I should be able to take pretty much any hit this Kyurem wants to throw at me. Be able to get up a... be able to get up my Trick Room, and then be able to go from there. Barring Raboot, actually, everything I got left kind of benefits in Trick Room against what he has left. So even if I do end up losing Hat somehow, this is actually not a bad spot for me to be in. So we will see how he wants to play this. He does have Flash Cannon. So he's not Specs. But I am going to be able to take that. I'm going to be able to get this Trick Room up. And now the fun begins. So I'm just going to straight Dazzling Gleam. If he switches into Talonflame, that breaks its Gale Wings. Kyurem dies. And Zeraora, I'm almost positive I can guarantee two-shot that thing with whatever I end up pulling. So Empathy's going to Dazzling Gleam. And I'm going to put Kyurem to bed. I apologize for that, Kyurem. You are a proud member of my triple threat. You are a proud member of my Swoo roster in IBL last season. I'm really sorry I had to do that, but... I did what was necessary in order to be able to try to win this particular game for myself. In is going to come Talonflame now. I'm going to go ahead and click Psychic. I know Gale Wings basically just raises the middle finger to my Trick Room. But that's perfectly fine if Empathy goes down because from the Brave Bird recoil... From Brave Bird recoil, Talonflame no longer has Gale Wings. And I'm pretty sure this is where... Actually, with my Trick Room still up, I think this is where Cadwell Ladder pretty much wins this game. Because I flattened this thing with a Rock Slide. Yeah, I do take the spike damage, that's fine. I'm just going to go ahead and click Rock Slide. And Talonflame will definitely be history. Yeah, Drudd is outspeeding everything under Trick Room at this point, so... Hat, I think, ultimately ended up setting up Drudd to kind of steal this one for me. Granted, I need to hit this Rock Slide, of course. That is the important thing right now. If I miss this Rock Slide, we may actually have a bit of a problem. He's going to switch into Zeraora. Which is fine. That thing is going to take rocks damage. It's going to eat this Rock Slide. Which is going to knock it under half. I'm going to get Leftovers back. And Cadwell Ladder is actually not in that bad of a spot right now. So I have... This is my last turn of Trick Room. Which is honestly fine. I'm going to go ahead and Earthquake to kill Zeraora. If he actually predicts the EQ and switches into Talonflame, good play on his part. But with my Trick Room up, I should definitely be able to pick this thing off. Yep, he does pull the switch. Clever indeed. So he is going to be able to stall out my Trick Room. But I'm pretty sure Drudd is tanky enough that this is ultimately irrelevant. At least that is the hope. Because Brave Bird is certainly not killing me. I can crush this thing with a Rock Slide. If he tries to switch back into Zera for some reason, I think with my Stealth Rocks, I can pick that thing off with us. Okay, so he's just going to go ahead and Brave Bird. which does over half. Eeh, Talonflame. I'm able to hit this Rock Slide, and that's going to be Talonflame gone. So, now it comes down to Zeraora. So, things are going to get interesting now. If he has Play Rough, he definitely kills me. Assuming he hits it, which I'm pretty sure he will. But, with Raboot Scarfed, I'm pretty sure I can pick this thing off. I'm gonna click EQ just so, because I don't want to risk throwing this away inadvertently, if I call this wrong. But I'm pretty sure, if he throws anything else my way, Drudd can live it, but if he's got Play Rough, then Drudd is definitely going down. But Scarf Raboot should be able to end up he close combats! Which Drudd is barely going to be able to live, and it is going to end up getting the final kill here. So, I think we have now established that Druddigon is not just a defensive tanky monstrosity. It is able to put on offensive work when necessary as well. GG, JB. That was a hell of a game. Not gonna lie. And I was definitely nervous all the way up because I will be up front, on paper, I definitely thought I was getting my ass royally handed to me this game. You have a team that definitely made me have to think quite a bit more outside the box than even I normally do, just to be able to try and end up getting away with this one. Some of this definitely probably boiled down to that early Will-O-Wisp miss on T-Tar, which certainly did not help matter, that certainly didn't help, but I mean, pending if I got the defense drop with Crunch or not, that still could have potentially been a 2-hit KO. Worst case scenario, I probably would have been able to find a way to make this work some other way to get Gorgas out of here, because T-Tar pretty much dropped as soon as Gorg gets out of here. Anyway, that is going to be the battle. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and GG again to JB. I have been Ruppy, and my Columbus Swoo and I will see you guys next time. Take care.